This is a little long. I'll try to make it clear. You said yesterday that it is necessary for someone to become like another person in order to know and to love that person, and that we are meant to become loving, compassionate, forgiving, etc., like God. But you did not elaborate on exactly how it is possible for us to come to know, I assume, God. Does God approach us through word or through presence, or from a Muslim point of view, does he approach us at all? And if not, in what way are we able to come to be like him at all? And then he makes a comment. Thomas Aquinas, a doctor of the Catholic Church from the Middle Ages, emphasizes the compatibility of faith and reason, as does the Church, and has written a book called Faith and Reason. I'm just remembering the one verse about God speaks to you from revelation and inspiration, etc. So just to put that in your head, even though I know you told me that.
Yeah. Yes, I know about St. Thomas Aquinas. The attack on faith and reason began during the Renaissance. And after the Renaissance, that became an issue, the incompatibility of faith and reason. When the agnostic and atheist philosophers began to make an assault on the Christian religion, specifically. And so it's a rather modern problem. Yeah, there were others as well, not just St. Thomas Aquinas. There were other of the church fathers that insisted on the compatibility of faith and reason. But I was talking mostly about the modern situation. Now, the one about how does God approach us? Oh yeah, I didn't say that you had to become like another person to be able to grow near to them. I was saying that what allows us to know another person is the type of things we share with them. Okay? And I said that we can get to know another person, human being, because we have so many similar experiences. And the more that we share with them, the closer we could get. That's how we could become intimate with another human being. And I said the problem that we face is, how does one become intimate with God? When we are finite and He is infinite, when we are mortal and He is immortal, where He is transcendent and we are very much fixed in time and space, limited by it. When He transcends the very environment that we are stuck in, and where He has, where His being is so very different from ours. How can we grow near to Him? And I was telling him that what the Quran indicates is that we could grow near to Him, not so much through reason. Somebody left their glasses up here, by the way. We could grow near to Him, not so much just through reason. But we could grow near to Him through experience. Because I said in the Quran, I'll just review it just quickly, it says in the Quran, the attributes of God. The most beautiful names of God, as it calls it. He is the merciful, the compassionate, the forgiving, the just, the kind. So in earth, the more we grow in forgiveness, the closer we grow towards God's forgiveness. The more we grow in compassion, the more we are able to receive and experience God's infinite compassion. The more we come to know of love, the more we can receive and experience God's infinite love, and so forth. Not just in ritual, which is one very intimate way to experience it, but in many ways else, and so much more when we reach the next life, when all the distractions are stripped away. So I talked about that. When we experience mercy, for example, or when we grow in the attributes that have God as their infinite and perfect source, it's not just a matter of experiencing them on a personal level. We experience something much greater. Because the Quran teaches us that God is the source of all the mercy, all the compassion, all the forgiveness, all the justice, all the truth that exists, period. So when we show compassion to another person, God's compassion is coming to that person through us. We become instruments of God's compassion. When we show mercy to another person, God's mercy is coming through us to that person. And for a moment, we experience some of God's infinite mercy, a fraction of God's infinite mercy, as our own. So that other people experience God's being through us. And that is a level of intimacy that we cannot even attain with another human being. You know, I can't walk in your shoes. You know, I can't experience what you experience. I might be able to relate to it by relating it to what I've experienced, but this is a much more intense intimacy because people are experiencing God's being through us, and they're experiencing God's mercy towards them, God's compassion towards them, God's forgiveness towards them through us. And so we are experiencing that mercy and compassion and forgiveness, etc., as part of our own. You know, it's a level of intimacy that is extremely close, closer than we could achieve with any other being. But as I said, through prayer and through other means, we also come to experience, as we grow in these attributes, grow in these qualities, and it's hard to summarize this in all 2 minutes, but as we grow in these qualities and follow this development and grow in faith and grow in goodness through prayer and ritual and through moments in our life that are unanticipated, we experience God's presence, His nearness, His beauty. And this is something that it's hard to explain, but we experience them in very powerful ways that are more real for us than walking on the ground. But, you know, I don't know what else you want me to say about that. So we experience Him through His presence, through His light, as the Quran says, through His beauty, through His power. We experience it in our lives.